Welcome to my channel. I want us to talk about some interesting issue uh, this time around. And this issue has to do with Tinubu. First of all, we'll talk about Tinubu. I want to give you the history of the political trajectory of Tinubu that showed clearly that he has little regards for Christians in his political parties. All the political parties that he belonged, especially right from ACN, Tinubu have shown lack of respect for Christians in those parties. And that is what is being exhibited even right now, that he is in the APC and is the presidential candidate of the party. After that, I will go into the ranting of the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. He's ranting on Peter Obi in his latest interview with Arise News, Arise TV. Now let us first of all discuss Tinubu's history of lack of respect for Christians in political parties that he belonged. In 2007, when it became obvious that the crisis between President Olusegun Obasanjo and the Vice President Atiku Abubakar was irreconcilable, that nothing will bring these two people together again to work together in harmony. And Obasanjo and Atiku were on the last lap of their second term. Obasanjo showed it very clearly that he don't want Atiku Abubakar to be the next president. And he chose the governor of Katsina State at the time, Umar Musa Yar'Adua, as his preferred successor. Atiku Abubakar defected from PDP to ACN, which was a new party that was formed by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he broke away from Alliance for Democracy, the party that brought him to power. If you go to the internet and search, you will see Alhaji Atiku Abubakar making reference to the fact that one of the conditions that Tinubu gave him was that he should be the running mate to Atiku Abubakar. Tinubu is well aware that he's a Muslim. Atiku Abubakar is a Muslim. But that didn't bother Tinubu. A position that ought to be ordinarily go to a Christian Southerner, since Atiku Abubakar is a Muslim from the north. Tinubu wanted it. It took Atiku a whole lot to convince him to drop the ambition. That is Tinubu for you. Despite the fact there were eminently qualified Christians that could be vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar in 2007, Tinubu wanted to impose himself because he has no respect for Christians in political parties that he belongs. In 2014, 2015, when General Muhammadu Buhari emerged the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Atiku Abubakar also wanted to impose himself as the vice presidential running mate. He did everything he could to say that he is the only person that could handle that position. Not even former governor of Kwara State and former Senate President Bukola Saraki could convince him to step down. People like Femi Fani-Kayode and so many other people told him, look, this thing cannot fly. We can't have a Muslim ticket, especially when you have a candidate like General Buhari at the time, who was being viewed as a religious bigot, as a man who wanted to bring Islamic agenda upon the country, and even the party itself was looked at and was being seen by some of his opponents as a party that was out to enforce Islamic agenda on Nigeria. Tinubu insisted that he wanted to be the vice president. Of course, he took the rejection of his appeal by the owner of the mandate, General Buhari, for him to step down, and Professor Yemi Osibanjo became the compromise candidate, who is a Christian from Southwest, who became the vice president or vice presidential candidate of Buhari. Now, ahead of the 2023 general election, what did Tinubu do? Tinubu have seen that the northern establishment, especially the governors and former governors, were lining up to be vice president to Yemi Osibanjo, who was tipped, and he's in a pole position to be the presidential candidate of APC. What did Tinubu do? Because he knew that those who are lining up were Muslims from the north to be vice president to Yemi Osibanjo. What did Tinubu do? He made them an offer they cannot refuse. He went and he gave them the impression, the indication. He told them that he was going to do Muslim tickets. So this Muslim ticket people are hearing today didn't start today. It started from Tinubu feeling threatened by Osibanjo being in the race. So he had to give to the Muslim governors and ex-governors who are having ambition of becoming vice president to Yemi Osibanjo what they could have gotten from Yemi Osibanjo. And he insisted that he would run a Muslim ticket. And that was how he was able to beat Yemi Osibanjo. And they even went further than that. They projected Yemi Osibanjo as a religious bigot. Don't forget, at the run-up to the APC primary, Yemi Osibanjo was accused of being a Muslim hater. That if you go to his office in his law chambers, he doesn't employ Christians. At the vice presidency office that he is holding, that there are no Muslims there. But it was all lies. It was all concocted up by Tinubu and his cohorts in the media to project and paint Osibanjo as a religious bigot. And of course it worked. Because at the end of the day, the Muslim northerners began to look at Osibanjo with suspicion. All his efforts to try to extricate himself from the rope that Tinubu and his supporters had put on him as a religious bigot failed. And at the end of the day, he came a distant third in the APC primaries. Now, and Tinubu, despite the uproar by many people, including Christian Association of Nigeria, including Northern Christians, he couldn't shift ground. Of course, he cannot shift ground because that was the only bet he could use to take the presidency from Yemi Osibanjo. So you can see that Tinubu is not a person who has any regard for Christians. And you can see what they did in the unveiling of Shetima, the vice presidential candidate. They have to rent 30 bishops, quote and unquote, to endorse them, because that is what it means. If it was not so, why did Shetima particularly mention those bishops? If you listen to him when he spoke in his acceptance speech, he made reference to the 30 bishops who came for his unveiling, which was an indication of their endorsement of his mandate, despite the fact that Christian Association of Nigeria said that there should be no same-faith ticket in any of the parties, and any party that does it will be rejected by the CAN. But they went ahead and did what they did to do a sort of damage control, and also to show that CAN is not united. They have to recruit impostors who claim to be bishops to give them endorsement at the unveiling of Shetima. These are all documented evidence of Tinubu's lack of respect for Christians in political parties that he belonged to. Now, before I go further to interrogate Atiku Abubakar's interview with Arise TV, please, if this is your first time in my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, like this video, share it widely. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, I want to now discuss about Atiku Abubakar's interview. First of all, I'm disappointed, like so many Nigerians should be, that Atiku Abubakar felt too big to come to the studio of Arise TV to do the interview. Mr. Peter Obi's interview in Arise have always been done in their studio. Why should Atiku Abubakar be allowed to do his own interview in his own home? And the interview was also pre-recorded. Those are the kind of interviews that the incumbent president used to give, pre-recorded interviews that could be taken to the studio and a lot of things edited out. It doesn't speak well, it doesn't show respect to Nigerians. Atiku Abubakar wants to serve Nigerians. He's not the master of Nigerians. He is a servant, because that is why he wants to be president. It ought to be that he comes to serve. He's not coming to be a lord of Nigerians. They don't have to go to his house to go and interview him and pre-record it before airing it. That's unfair to Nigerians, and it's unfair to Mr. Peter Obi. This is a kind of a rigged interview in the first place, because we need to see these presidential candidates being interviewed live, unedited, so that we can test their capacity, their ability to process information, and then answer questions on their own, unedited. Not interviews that are packaged. Obviously, a paid interview. It's not necessary. That's not what Nigeria. We need a presidential candidates to come out to show their capacity, to be tested by Nigerians live. So that's unfair. To me, as far as I'm concerned, that's a rigged interview. But I have to still go through some of the rantings of the vice presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress. At least the information we have available, since it was not live, which would have given us an indication of how he would have handled some questions that comes to him unprepared, to show us whether he's prepared to be president from day one. That said, one of the things he said about Peter Obi is that is the normal cliche that Peter Obi Labour Party has no structure. So there is no way that Peter Obi can be able to win the 2023 presidential election. He even added that it will take a miracle for Peter Obi to win the election. And I can tell him for free that, of course, someone like me and many other Nigerians, we believe in miracles. Peter Obi will win, not just because we believe in miracles, because there are realities on the ground which Atiku Abubakar seems to be unaware or living in denial. Labour Party is a force to reckon with in this coming election because Mr. Peter Obi is in the ticket. And it should also surprise him that of all the issues he dealt with in that interview, the most trending of all of them was what he said about Peter Obi. Just like IBB used to say in his heydays that he is the main issue in Nigeria. I think Peter Obi now is the main issue in Nigeria. That should send a message to Atiku Abubakar, because it appears he's still living in a fool's paradise, thinking that he will win 2023 election without watching the dynamics, the change that is about to envelop this country by Nigerian youths and other Nigerians who have decided that enough is enough. So they say Peter Obi has no structure. I don't want to go further into dwelling with the issue of structure, because I know this issue, I've dealt with it in several videos. Anybody who still doubt the structure of Labour Party to be able to deliver Peter Obi, I have so many videos on it. Go and check on it. They are all over YouTube here. Then another funny thing he said that 90% of Northerners are not on social media. So Peter Obi, who they assume is basically on social media, therefore cannot be able to get anything from the North. I think Atiku Abubakar should go and smell the coffee. He should smell the coffee. Change is about to sweep him away because he's not aware of what is going on, even in the North. Now, if social media has no impact, why did Atiku Abubakar rush to condemn the condemnation of the killing of Deborah, the student of Sokoto State College of Education that was killed for alleged blasphemy? He would have not rushed to condemn the condemnation. To this day, he means that Atiku Abubakar did not condemn that extrajudicial killing. He is in sync with it. Because if he's not in sync with it, why did he condemn the condemnation that was made on his behalf? So if social media has no impact in the North, only 10% of the population of Northerners are on social media, why did he rush to condemn the condemnation on Twitter? So that's how they deceive the public. But there's little they can do anyway, because this election, this electronic voting election, electronic identification and voting, is going to cleanse a lot of things out of Nigerian politics. And Atiku Abubakar will be among those that will be cleansed out, because he was part of the PDP administration when the APC administration talk about the 16 years of decadence of the PDP. Atiku Abubakar is at the thick of it. He was at the thick of the privatization of all the federal government assets. So Nigerians have his record. And Obasanjo has documented it well in his memoirs. So there's little anybody need to go and scratch his head over Atiku Abubakar. Now, Atiku Abubakar was also challenging the perception that Peter Obi will take away votes from PDP in Southeast. He said he was saying that it's an exaggeration. I think let him continue to think like that. Let him continue to think like that until the election result begin to drop in February next year. He will know that the whole of Southeast has been locked down for Mr. Peter Obi. And then it will be clear to him that there is no pathway for him to become president. And already he has said that northern voters are not on social media. 90% of northerners are not on social media. Okay. But even when they are not on social media, did they vote for him in 2019? In 2019, Atiku lost woefully in Northwest. Was that a creation of the social media? Was it that his supporters was on social media and then the supporters of Buhari was on ground? Atiku Abubakar struggled to get 2 states in Northeast. And those states were his home states, Adamawa, where he struggled. He struggled to win Adamawa. And he won because of mostly Christian votes in Adamawa. The same thing happened to him in Taraba State, which is a Christian-dominated state in Northeast. He won there, no doubt. But the 2023 presidential election is going to be a different ball game. Already, Christian Association of Nigeria have told Christians where to vote. I don't think any reasonable Tarabans will put his vote for Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar that condemned the condemnation of Deborah. Atiku Abubakar that is against anti-open grazing law in Benue State. Go and check the record. Go online. Go and Google Atiku Abubakar opposition to anti-open grazing law in Benue State. And already, one of the conditionalities that Christian Association gave is that Christians should not vote for anybody who is against anti-open grazing laws. That is, anybody who supports open grazing should not be voted for as president. So you can go and read the manual of Christian Association of Nigeria, you see it. And Tarabans are mostly Christians. I don't see him getting that state in 2023. Even in Adamawa, with what has played out now, as I don't see Christians in Adamawa voting for Atiku Abubakar. So, and he's not like in the Northeast, in the rest of the Northeast and in the Northwest. So where is the pathway for Atiku Abubakar? Unlike Peter Obi, who will lock down zones, Atiku Abubakar has no pathway. So what is he talking about? There is no pathway. I have looked at it. There is no pathway. I have made a video on the pathway for Peter Obi to become president. So that is the situation. That is the situation. So there was no basis for him to take jabs on Peter Obi. It was a mere ranting that he was making. It was mere ranting that he was making. Trying to rubbish Peter Obi. Of course, Peter Obi is a gentleman. He has always tried to avoid personal attacks and personal issues like that. He keep on addressing the issues of his election, what he can offer Nigeria. So there's no basis whatsoever in what Atiku was saying about Peter Obi. Peter Obi stand a very good chance in winning this election. You have seen that at least I have broken down some of the things that Atiku said that concerns Peter Obi. And I've shown you here that he was standing logic on his head. He doesn't know that there's no pathway for him to be president. All things are working out for good for Mr. Peter Obi right now. So thank you for watching this video. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button. Hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you.